Chapter 3, Examination of Formal Requirements. Welcome to your Euro Patent Brief Journey with Baris. We're about to dive into the intricacies of the consequences of non-payment of designation fees, withdrawal of designations, and their implications for your European patent application. We will follow the content of the EPO Examination Guidelines. This can be a complex topic, but don't worry, I'm here to guide you through every detail. Let's tackle this together, step by step. 11.2.3 Consequences of non-payment of the designation fee. If the designation fee is not paid by the end of the period specified in Rule 39(1), your European patent application is deemed withdrawn. This is a serious consequence. If the designation fee is not paid in time, the EPO will send you a communication under Rule 112(1), notifying you of the loss of rights. In response to this communication, you can request further processing, according to Article 121 and Rule 135. This is an important option for recovering from the loss of rights, but time is of the essence. Take a pause here. Have you considered all your time limits for paying the designation fees? Make sure you don't miss this critical deadline. The loss of rights occurs when the period under Rule 39(1) expires. This loss is not dependent on the expiry of the period for requesting further processing. This principle was affirmed in Decision G498, applied mutatis mutandis. Pause here and think. Do you fully understand the consequences of non-payment of designation fees? This is your opportunity to ensure that you stay on top of the payment deadlines. 11.2.4 Withdrawal of designation. Let's move on to withdrawing the designation of contracting states. The applicant has the right to withdraw the designation of one or more contracting states at any time before the grant of the patent. However, be aware that withdrawing the designation of all contracting states results in the entire application being deemed withdrawn. You will be notified if this occurs. Importantly, if you've validly paid the designation fee, it will not be refunded. This applies whether you withdraw the designation of all states or just some. Pause here. Consider carefully which contracting states you wish to designate. Making strategic decisions here could affect the scope of your patent protection. Now, a contracting state's designation cannot be withdrawn from the moment a third party proves to the EPO that they have initiated entitlement proceedings. This restriction lasts until the EPO reinitiates proceedings for the grant of the patent. It's also possible to withdraw designations when filing the European patent application itself. For example, this may be done to avoid overlapping prior national rights with the priority application under Article 139(3). Even if you pay the designation fee on time, those designations that you've withdrawn will not be reactivated. Pause here. Reflect on your strategy. Are there any states whose designation you might wish to withdraw? Make sure your designations align with your overall patent strategy. 11.2.5 Euro PCT applications entering the European phase. Now, let's talk about Euro PCT applications that are entering the European phase. For these applications, the designation fee must be paid within 31 months from the filing or priority date. This applies if the time limit specified in Rule 39(1) has already expired. According to Rule 161, if the designation fee is not paid within the basic period under Rule 159(1)(d), the European patent application will be deemed withdrawn. If this occurs, the EPO will notify the applicant of the loss of rights under Rule 112(1). Again, in response to this, you can request further processing under Article 121 and Rule 135. Pause here and think about the time limits involved in your Euro PCT application. Have you set reminders to ensure timely payment of designation fees? Remember, missing a deadline here can have major consequences. 11.3 European patent applications filed before April 1, 2009. Let's now discuss European patent applications that were filed before 1 April 2009. 11.3.1 Designation Fee and Time Limits. For applications filed before 1 April 2009, a designation fee is payable for designating contracting states. For Switzerland and Liechtenstein, a single joint designation fee is payable. In these cases, all contracting states are deemed designated upon payment of 7 times the amount of one designation fee. The designation fees must be paid within 6 months from the date on which the European Patent Bulletin mentions the publication of the European Search Report. For European divisional applications and new applications under Article 61(1)(b) filed before 1 April 2009, the designation fees must be paid within the same 6-month period. Pause here, take a deep breath. Are you managing your designation fees for pre-April 2009 applications carefully? Missing this key deadline can lead to significant issues. 11.3.2 Consequences of non-payment of designation fees. Now, what happens if the designation fee is not paid in time? The designation of that state is deemed withdrawn. The EPO will send the applicant a communication under Rule 112(1), notifying them of the deemed withdrawal of the designation, according to Rule 39(2). In response, the applicant can request further processing under Article 121 and Rule 135. This gives you a second chance, but only if you act quickly. If the applicant waives the right to receive this communication by selecting the appropriate box on the request for grant form, the communication will not be sent. This also means that the applicant waives the right to further processing in respect of the designations in question. Pause here, reflect on your strategy. Have you ensured that all your designations are paid for on time? This is critical to avoiding the loss of valuable rights. Recap and reflection. Today we've covered the consequences of non-payment of designation fees and the options for withdrawing designations in your European patent application. We've explored the time limits involved, the process for handling EuroPCT applications, and the steps to take if you miss a deadline. Take a moment to reflect on these procedures. In our next session, we'll dive deeper into critical elements that require your attention to detail. For now, take a deep breath and review today's material. You're making excellent progress. Keep up the great work. Remember, the key to mastering these details is consistent practice and review. Listen to this content as many times as needed. Thank you for your continued dedication. See you in the next session.